Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today we are reading from Shrimad Bhagavatam 10th Canto, chapter 43, text 3. Badhva parikaram saurihi samuhya kutilalakan uvacha hastipam vacha meghanada gabhiraya Badhva parikaram saurihi samuhya kutilalakan uvacha hastipam vacha meghanada gabhiraya Badhva parikaram saurihi samuhya kutilalakan uvacha hastipam vacha meghanada gabhiraya Badhva parikaram saurihi samuhya kutilalakan uvacha hastipam vacha meghanada gabhiraya Badhva parikaram saurihi samuhya kutilalakan uvacha hastipam vacha meghanada gabhiraya Badhva parikaram saurihi samuhya kutilalakan uvacha hastipam vacha meghanada gabhiraya Badhva parikaram saurihi kutilalakan uvacha hastipam vacha meghanada gabhiraya Badhva parikaram saurihi samuhya kutilalakan uvacha hastipam vacha meghanada gabhiraya Badhva parikaram saurihi samuhya kutilalakan uvacha hastipam vacha meghanada gabhiraya Badhva parikaram saurihi samuhya kutilalakan uvacha hastipam vacha meghanada gabhiraya Badhva parikaram saurihi samuhya kutilalakan uvacha hastipam vacha meghanada gabhiraya Badhva binding, parikaram his clothes. Sauri, Lord Krishna, Samuha, tying together, Kutila, curled, Alakan, the locks of his hair, Uvacha, he spoke, Hastipam, to the elephant keeper, Vacha, with words, Megha, of a cloud, Nada, like the sound, Gavhiraya, grave. Translation: securely winding up his clothes and tying back his curly locks, Lord Krishna addressed the elephant keeper with words as grave as rumbling of a cloud. Purport. Lord Krishna was obviously preparing for a fight. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the Lord put aside his jacket, tightened his belt, and tied back his hair. Badhva parikarang sauri samuhya kutilalakan uvacha hastipam vacha meghanad gavhiraya. So, we are churning the butter of Krishna Lila since a few months. So, and yesterday we were hearing very nice class from Devi Shakti Mataji. So, so here we see that Krishna has entered Mathura and his Mathura Lila has already started. So when Krishna first went from Vrindavan to Mathura, because Akrura was taking him in his chariot. So after getting down from the chariot, Akrura actually invited Krishna and Balaram with his cowherd friends to go to his house. But Krishna and Balaram refused to go at that time because they told that we will come to your house after finishing our business here. So if Krishna and Balaram would have gone to Akrura's house, naturally he would have stayed in Akrura's house. Akrura would have gone to Kansa and would have informed Kansa that Krishna Balaram had come to Mathura and your mission is fulfilled. And then next day, as Krishna Balaram were invited to go to Rangabhumi, see the festival, they would have gone there. But Krishna had a few more things to do before going to Rangabhumi. Because there are so many devotees in Mathura who are aspiring to see Krishna and Balaram since long time. Though Mathura is not very far from Vrindavan, but still the devotees in Mathura, they were afraid of coming to Vrindavan and see or get darshan of Krishna. Because they were afraid of Kansa. So they are waiting because they have heard the prophecy that Devaki's eighth child would kill Kansa. So they are waiting that when Krishna would come to Mathura and kill Kansa, so that time they would be able to get darshan of Krishna. So there are different devotees in different rasas in Mathura. So like Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, so all types of devotees were there. So they are waiting. So Krishna wanted to give his darshan and reciprocate with them before killing Kansa. That's why he decided that they would go to see the city. In the name of visiting the city, they would reciprocate with their devotees, and at the same time, they would give the first challenge to Kansa. Because Kansa had made this plan to bring Krishna and Balaram to Mathura and kill them in the name of this festival. And he had invited them. But before Kansa would do that, Krishna himself gave a challenge to Kansa from the very beginning of his entering into Mathura. So they were not very afraid of Kansa, and Krishna and Balaram went to see the city of Mathura with their cowherd boys. And the first person they saw was that Dhobi. And Krishna and Balaram, they wanted to dress themselves nicely, though they were in Gopavesh, because they are going from Vrindavan, and Gopavesh is naturally very attractive. So they were in Gopavesh, but when they went to the city and they had to challenge Kansa, so they wanted to have their royal dress instead of Gopavesh. So when they saw this Dhobi, who was taking clothes for Kansa, and these clothes were not old clothes. They were all new clothes. And this new clothes, the Dhobi had brought from Kansa to dye it and then again offer to Kansa. Otherwise, Krishna and Balaram would have not desired to wear the old clothes of Kansa. So they were new clothes. But when they asked this Dhobi actually chastised Krishna and Balaram. Said, you are coming from cowherd village and you are desiring to wear the cloth of the king. How dare you can ask for this? And you know what is the result of this? Kansa's men will bind you, arrest you, and they will kill you. So when Krishna heard this, so Krishna became very angry on this Dhobi. And just with his hand, he cut off his head without any weapon. And how old was Krishna at that time? 10 years, 7 months. He was in Kishore form. So, and when this Dhobi was dead, then his followers, all other Dhobis, they fled out of fear. And Krishna and Balaram, they choose their own clothes, what will be befitting to them. And then that Darji came and he also stitched the cloth. So this Dhobi, as we know, that he was the Dhobi in Ram Leela, who had blasphemed Mother Sita. So Lord Ramchandra had not punished that dhobi in that lifetime. So he punished here in Krishna Lila to that dhobi. But Krishna's punishment was liberation. So in this way, Krishna gave the first challenge to Kansa. Can we imagine that Kansa's washerman taking cloth for Kansa, and someone comes in between and asks for king's cloth to wear, and when the dhobi does not give, then he kills him. So naturally, this is a challenge to Kansa. And Krishna was waiting the reaction of Kansa, to see the reaction of Kansa. But he did not see any reaction. Naturally, this news went to Kansa that these two boys have killed your washerman who was bringing cloth, and they took your cloth and they are wearing now. King's cloth. So naturally there should have been a heavy reaction from the king. The king would have sent his soldiers to arrest these boys. But Kansa did not do anything. That means Kansa was afraid of Krishna. So Krishna, by giving this challenge, he was waiting to see the reaction of Kansa. What Kansa was doing. Because he has invited them to kill. So let Kansa come forward to kill us. But Kansa did not come. Neither he come himself or he would send his men. That means Kansa was terrified. And then this Darji came and Krishna Balaram, they wore king's cloth, royal dress. And then they went to Sudama Mali's house of their own. Sudama Mali did not invite them, but they went of their own to Sudama Mali's house to get some garlands. Because this Sudama Mali, in his previous life, he was also a Mali, gardener. His name was Hema Mali. He was the gardener of Kubera in Chaitraratha garden. So he was very nice person, humble, simple devotee of Krishna, and he was worshipping Krishna. And he had gone through, he had worshipped demigods to get Krishna's blessings, and specifically he did austerity for 5,000 years to get darshan of Krishna, and he wanted that Krishna would come to his house. And every day he was offering 300 lotus flowers to Lord Shiva, to please Lord Shiva and get this benediction. So then when Lord Shiva appeared, he gave this benediction to Hema Mali that in Dwapar Yuga, when Krishna would appear in Mathura, that time he would come to your house and he would fulfill your desires. That's why Krishna Balaram did not wait for the invitation of Sudama Mali. That same Hema Mali became Sudama Mali in Mathura. And to fulfill the desire of Lord Shiva and Sudama Mali, Lord Shiva has benedicted, so to fulfill his benediction and also fulfill the desire of Hema Mali, who is now Sudama Mali. So Krishna Balaram went to his house, and Sudama Mali was in great ecstasy, and we know how he offered respect to Lord Krishna and offered newly prepared flower garlands. And then Krishna Balaram delivered Kubja, and we know the pastimes of Kubja, how she was Surpanakha in Ram Leela. And then after delivering Kubja, that Kubja episode is also another second challenge to Kansa. Because Kubja was taking these nicely scented ointments for Kansa, and Krishna took those ointments from Kubja, and Krishna Balaram they put on their own bodies. This was the second challenge they gave to Kansa. And Kansa's spies were everywhere. They would have informed Kansa also. But there was no reaction from Kansa's side. And then after that, when they proceeded further, they saw the businessmen, Vaishya community men of Mathura, and they were very clever, Vaishya people. So they came and offered their respect, offered their offerings to Krishna and Balaram. And they said that when you become king of Mathura, because they knew that they have come to kill Kansa, but still they were afraid of Kansa, these businessmen of Mathura. That's why they told Krishna and Balaram that when you become the king of Mathura, so please protect us. So Krishna smiled, hearing their petition. But when Krishna wanted to ask them that where is the way to go to the bow sacrifice place, the businessmen of Mathura did not reveal the way to go to bow sacrifice place because they were afraid of Kansa. If they would show the way to Krishna Balaram, they were thinking maybe Kansa would be against them and Kansa would punish them. So they did not reveal or show the way to the bow sacrifice place. But the young boys of Mathura, those who were enamored and attracted by Krishna Balaram, seeing their beauty and seeing their cowherd friends, so they were also working with them, the Mathura boys. So when Krishna Balaram asked the businessman and they did not tell the way, so these boys told, okay, this is the way to go to the bow sacrifice place. Because they were not afraid of Kansa. They were greatly attracted by Krishna and Balaram. And when Krishna Balaram went to the bow sacrifice place, and there are so many guards guarding that bow sacrifice place. They are worshipping the sacrificial bow, which was Kansa was also worshipping, and that bow was being worshipped in the Yadu dynasty for long years. Because Lord Parsuram had given this bow to Maharaj Yadu. So that bow was there in that dynasty. So when Krishna arrived there, these guards were stopping him. But Krishna did not care for the guards. He went straight to the bow place where bow was kept and being worshipped. And Krishna immediately, in his left hand, he did not use right hand. He used left hand to lift the bow. So as we know, left hand is little weaker than the right hand. And when someone does something in right hand, this is very respectful. When someone does in left hand, it's not very respectful. So Krishna showed two things. He was not very respectful to Kansa's bow, and then bow was not so heavy for him. The bow was so heavy, 5,000 men would carry the bow. But Krishna exhibited that the bow was not very heavy, so he lifted in his left hand. And after lifting the bow, immediately he put the string on it and then pulled the string. And immediately that bow broke into two pieces, making a tumultuous sound. The sound was filled in the three walls. The earth was trembling. And when Kansa heard the sound, he was terrified. Because he was already fearful of Krishna and Balaram. Kansa was so foolish. He actually invited his death. Invited his death in his own new brand chariot. So, now death is approaching, so he was very terrified. So then he got the news that when Krishna broke the bow, then immediately his guards, they all attacked Krishna and Balaram with the intent of killing them. So all those guards were attacking, and Krishna and Balaram, they took one portion of that bow in one hand, Balaram in one portion, Krishna one portion, and with that half portion of the bow, both of them fought with all those guards and soldiers and killed all of them. And when Kansa heard this, he sent another contingent of soldiers. And Krishna Balaram again killed them, all the soldiers. None of them was alive. So we can imagine like thousands of soldiers and guards were lying dead in that sacrificial arena. So this is the third challenge Krishna and Balaram gave to Kansa. That he broke the bow and he was waiting what Kansa would do the next step. He sent his soldiers, now they are all dead. Now Kansa was silent. He could not do further anything. And then Krishna Balaram, then when they saw no one else is coming to fight with them, so then they came out from that sacrificial arena through the front gate. That means if anyone else would be coming to fight with them, they would face them. So they were not afraid. Krishna and Balaram were not afraid, but Kansa was afraid. And they came out, and not that they immediately returned to their encampment, they went again through the streets of Mathura, seeing the beauty of Mathura. That means they were not at all afraid of Kansa. They are wandering throughout the streets of Mathura without any fear. But when the sun set, they came back to their encampment, where Nanda Maharaj and the cowherd men had put their wagons, and they were living in outskirts of Mathura. So when Krishna Balaram came back, the servants washed their feet and they ate rice and milk at night, because Mother Yasoda had sent a pot of milk from the special cows which were meant for Krishna. So the milk from special cows. So Krishna Balaram used that milk at night with rice and they ate it. And then they were not at all afraid of Kansa, they went to sleep. They had a very sound sleep at night after doing all these things in Mathura, creating havoc. Still they were not afraid. But Nanda Maharaj became very afraid. Nanda Maharaj could not sleep throughout the night. Because Nanda Maharaj was thinking that why did I bring these two boys from the cowherd village? And you see now what they have done. Now Kansa would be angry. And what he would do now to these two boys, I don't know. So Nanda Maharaj was very much afraid for the life of Krishna and Balaram. He could not realize that these two sons were the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Nanda Maharaj was thinking, they are his sons. So he was very much afraid for them. So throughout night, he could not sleep. Same thing happened to Kansa also. Kansa also could not sleep because his death is nearing. So throughout night, Kansa did not sleep and he saw many bad omens, so bad dreams. So he was terrified. So one after another, Krishna was giving one after another challenges to Kansa to see his reaction. And Kansa, instead of attacking Krishna and Balaram, himself was terrified. And this fear was for his death. So Krishna, who is fear personified, Mrityu Sarva Harasam, death personified. And Kansa has invited his death personified. So he could not sleep throughout the night. But Kansa could not express his feelings to his men that he was afraid. He was making a show that he was not afraid of these boys. But internally, he was very, very afraid. But he could not show this to others. And then next morning, he ordered to decorate the wrestling arena, and the drums and bugles sounded. So all the inhabitants of Mathura and nearby districts, they came to see the festival, and they were all sitting in the galleries, and Kansa had his imperial dais. Kansa was sitting on the top of the galleries, specifically meant for him. And Kansa's Singhasan was 10 feet high, because Kansa actually brought that Singhasan from heavenly planet. That Singhasan was made by Vishwakarma. So he was sitting on the top of that, and his ministers and other kings, subordinate kings, they were sitting around him. And Kansa had made the arrangement for Vasudev to sit in the gallery and see how Kansa was killing his children. So in front of his eyes, Kansa wanted to kill Krishna and Balaram. And then he would have killed Vasudev and Nanda Maharaj. That was his plan. So he kept Vasudev nearby. So after killing Krishna and Balaram, he would be able to kill Vasudev in front of everyone. And then he called Nanda Maharaj. And Nanda Maharaj, in the early morning, he had come with all the cowherd men, and he was sitting in the gallery. So Kansa called them, called Nanda Maharaj, and told him that Nanda, you are my foremost village rulers, but you have come to Mathura, you have not come to see me. So you don't be afraid. Don't think that your two boys have broke the sacrificial bow. That's why they are bad boys. They are very nice boys. But they have not come here. Now the wrestling match is going to start, and I have heard that these two boys, they are very good wrestlers. They are very powerful. They have killed so many demons in Vrindavan. So I want to see their power, that how powerful they are, so they can show their power by wrestling with our wrestlers here. But they have not come here for the wrestling match. So you please send your men and get them. And tell them that they should learn how to behave with the king. So then Nanda Maharaj, whatever offerings he had taken for Kansa, he offered to him. Then some people went to look for Krishna and Balaram. Nanda Maharaj was sitting there. And Devaki was not sitting with Vasudeva. Devaki Devi was sitting where women were sitting, in the gallery. And Devaki Devi was surrounded by other women. So Devaki Devi was sitting there. And then Krishna and Balaram, what did they do? In the early morning, without telling Nanda Maharaj and anyone, with their cowherd boys, they went to Yamuna. From that encampment place. And they were washing their teeth, brushing their teeth, and taking bath. And then when they heard this sound of this wrestling match, then Krishna Balaram became enthused, hearing the sound of the drum. So he told these boys that let us go quickly to the wrestling match, to the arena of the wrestling match. So they came quickly. So when they arrived, so then we see that Kansa had made the arrangements. That Kubalaya Pida was standing at the gate. And Kansa had the plan that when these two boys will enter into the wrestling arena, Kubalaya Pida would kill them. So as we have already heard, yesterday Mataji was telling, Kubalaya Pida was cursed to become an elephant, who was the son of Bali Maharaj. So, and he had got benediction that he would be delivered by Krishna, by Trita Muni. So, Kubalaya Pida, its name signifies that Kubalaya means this earthly planet, Bhumandal. And Pida means who gives trouble to the inhabitants of Bhumandal, earthly planet. So because this Kubalaya Pida was a great elephant with 10,000 elephants' strength. In Kubalaya Pida there are 10,000 elephant strength. Same thing with Kansa. Kansa had also the strength of 10,000 elephants. And this Kubalaya Pida, when he appeared at Vindhyachal and he was caught by Jarasandha, Jarasandha employed 1,00,000 elephants to catch this Kubalaya Pida. So he was so powerful. So Kansa had put him at the gate, and now Kubalaya Pida was standing, covering the gate, and when Krishna Balaram came, Kubalaya Pida was blocking their way. So Krishna Balaram then understood that the elephant keeper is actually instigating this elephant to block the way so they could not be able to enter into the arena. That's why Krishna Balaram understood that now we have to fight to kill this elephant. That's why in this verse we see Baddha Parikarang Sauri Samuya Kutila Alaka. So now Krishna is preparing to fight with Kubalaya Pida. So he put down his shirts or jacket, because that will not be good for fighting. Because the opposite party may catch the jacket. So that's why the wrestlers, they don't wear anything. They are in bare body. So nothing the opposing party cannot catch anything. So they put out the jacket and they are in bare body. And Krishna also put his curly hair, was hanging around his face. He bound his hair. At first he tucked his hairs with his turban, but then he thought that maybe this hair would come down during the combat. That's why he bound these hairs with his upper cloth. And then here Krishna has been addressed as Sauri. So Sauri has a meaning. Why Sukadeva Goswami is addressing Krishna as Sauri? Because Sauri means the descendant of Surasena. Krishna is the descendant of Surasena. Because it's Vasudev's son, and Vasudeva and Nanda Maharaj both were in the dynasty of Surasena. So, that's why he's addressed as Sauri. And the another meaning also, by addressing Krishna as Sauri, Srila Sukadeva Goswami is actually giving the hints that all these descendants of Yadu, the Yadu dynasty, they were afraid of Kansa. Kansa actually did not belong to Yadu dynasty. He was not actual son of Ugrasena. There is a story behind that. Because Kansa's mother, Padmavati, when she had gone to her father's house, and after her monthly period, she was dressed up nicely. She went to a valley of a mountain valley, and she was wandering alone. Then one demon called Drumila, he was going on his aeroplane in the sky. And he saw this beautiful lady wandering alone in the mountain. So he came down and taking the dress of Ugrasena, taking the form of Ugrasena, he came and he united with Padmavati, then Kansa was born. Otherwise, how a demon would be born from Ugrasena, who was a devotee? So, this Kansa was harassing all the descendants of Yadu dynasty. So when Sukadeva Goswami is addressing Sauri, that means he is also pacifying the descendants of the Yadu dynasty, that now Sauri has come, so he would protect all the descendants of Yadu dynasty. Samuya kutilalakan uvacha hastipam vacha meghanada gabhiraya. So now Krishna is asking to the elephant keeper with Meghanada Gabhiraya. His words was just like the sound of the rumbling clouds. So this is one symptom of a great man. Those who are great men, their voice is just like the rumbling sound of the clouds. So Krishna, with that voice, he is addressing this elephant keeper. So then next we will hear tomorrow. Hare Krishna. So is there any comments, questions? Already we are over time, I think. Yeah, 5 minutes. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Maharaj, for the class. So this is somehow connected to this verse, but still I need some clarity. Because you said Surpanaka was actually cursed and then she took birth as Kubja, right? So my question is, like we heard several places and several times, and we have read in Bhagavatam also, like in case of Shishupal, when he died, my understanding is he merged in the effulgence of Krishna. Right, so similarly when someone dies in front of the Lord, maybe he's not very positive, maybe he's the enemy of the Lord. But still my understanding is he merges into the effulgence of the Lord. So how do I understand this pastime, like when Surpanaka died, then my understanding is because she was killed.
Surpanaka was not killed. When Lakshmana cut her nose and ears, she went back to Ravana and gave this news. Because she wanted to marry Lord Rama. And Rama could not marry her because he was Ekapatni Vrat. And Sita was there. So when Surpanaka wanted to attack Sita and kill Sita, because he was thinking because of Sita, she could not marry Lord Rama. So that's why she attacked Sita. Then Lakshman came and cut her nose and ears. And then she went to Ravana and informed Ravana about the incident. Then she went to Puskara. Surpanakha went to Puskara. And she performed austerity there with the intention of getting Lord Rama as her husband. So she performed austerity and she was benedicted that she would get the same Rama as Krishna in Krishna Lila as her husband. So that's why this Kubja pastime was there. Lord Krishna wanted to satisfy her. So later on Krishna went to her house to satisfy her. Okay? Very good.
She was actually going back to Maloka.
Yeah.
And then you have Pundraka, who actually achieved Sarupna. So not all the demons merge into the
Yeah, that's true. Not all the demons merge. Yeah. Because of their service. Like Putana did some service. So she went to Goloka.
because of the desire.
Yeah, desire.
in your heart.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Narayan, we see different these personalities which had some previous connection in previous leelas. So they were now liberated by Krishna because Krishna himself killed them. But what about these different soldiers, especially this bow sacrifice, and even Jarasandha attacked many times to in Mathura, and so many soldiers were killed by Krishna Bhagavan himself. So how come these soldiers, what they have connections or how they are liberated by Krishna Bhagavan himself?
Just by killing. Just by Krishna's killing, they are liberated.
Previously they had some
Whether previously they had some pious activity or not, it does not matter. They are killed by Krishna means they are liberated. Hare Krishna. Jai Granthara Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada Ji Maharaj ki. Jai Gaurav Bhakta Vrinda ki. Nitai Gaur Premanande.